I've been in a few different conversations lately, and I feel like the world at large is having this conversation around the idea of like right and wrong, like um, things being inherently bad or evil or violent, um, in such a way that when we're using those words, we're conveying like it would be better if those things didn't exist, which is something that I have struggled with my whole life is like, why does violence exist? Why does, um, meanness or unkindness or disrespect or like all these words, right? And this idea that like it would be better if it didn't, or like God is a bad God if violence is okay, or if God is real, then violence wouldn't be here. All these kinds of things. Why would God let violence happen? Right? And these have troubled me. I've like spent great chunks of my life trying to find some philosophy or religion or faith-based tradition that would explain why violence is here. And when I was talking to someone recently, we were talking about like what would be the most fair way to have a group of like entities. What is the most fairest possible version of letting like being, let's say, a creator, okay? So the most possible version that this person came up with was what I was thinking too, which is let the creatures do whatever they want, right? That's actually the most fair because it's the most autonomous. Like if you're saying I want to make a bunch of puppets and make them do what I want to do, then that's one thing. And it would make sense to tell them what to do because you're saying you want to rule them. You want to be in complete control of them. But if you want to create a bunch of beings who you're giving free will to, then the most free will is like literally do anything, right? So the most fairest in a like autonomy sense of um like meaning would be you can be violent, and being violent is not going to be considered more or less valuable or more or less allowed to exist than nonviolence. Um, and when we say things like everybody should treat everyone good, it gets tricky because it sounds nice and it sounds really like obvious, even, but it's actually reliant on a set of definitions of what is good or what is nice. So, to one person, teaching someone that they're going to go to hell if they don't believe in a certain set of things is the nicest possible thing to do. And to another person, that's the cruelest possible thing you can do. So, if we don't have a universal definition for nice or for mean, then we are gonna be stuck having ethics battles, right? So if I'm saying I want everybody to respect me, you're contradicting yourself because you're not allowing people to not respect you, right? So if you respected everyone else, it would mean they would be allowed to disrespect you. If I say, like, no one can be violent, then I'm enacting a form of violence myself because I'm saying you can't do something. In control of you. I know more than you, right? So any of these iterations of like, you shouldn't or people shouldn't is a form of violence because I am saying, I know more about being on this planet than you do, and I'm aware that my way is better than your way. So it gets really dicey, right? For me, true respect is I don't know what this game is. So I'd say do whatever you can to make sense of it, and I will do whatever I can to make sense of it. And if that means for you that you're going to go out and tell a bunch of people that they're going to hell and, arrest a bunch of people and kill a bunch of people, then I guess for you that makes sense. And I have no way of knowing. I have no way of knowing if that is good, bad, or otherwise. I literally don't. I can say what feels like more relaxed in my nervous system. I can say what seems more interesting to me. I can say what makes more sense to me or what results in outcomes I like better. But I can't say that I know on a universal scale what anyone should do because I don't know what I should do, right? I don't know what this game is that we're playing. I don't know how to understand that violence has existed for all of recorded history and that all of the major spiritual texts are wars. They're stories about wars. So uh, I, yeah, I just, gods kill each other in every tradition. Angels kill people, and save people. I don't know if it's m more important to be alive than to die. Um, I, I don't know if it's more important to like help people because even help people, right? Like helping is so no clear definition for it. One person could say that they're like, giving me a free lunch because they think that'll be helpful. And then another person could say they're enabling me to not like learn how to get my own lunch, right? There's no version of help. Like in 12-step groups, they say help is another word for control, which I stand by that. I feel that. I feel like, yeah, anytime you think you know something about somebody else's life or even about your own life, check it out, right? Not knowing is the one thing that I'm pretty sure of, that I do not know what's going on here, that I do not know what anybody should do. And that's why I'm like, I'm not telling anybody to learn about your nervous system or do the SSP. Like, if that sounds fun and meaningful to you, let's do it together. I know about it. I can share it with you, but not because you should, not because you need it, not because your life is definitely going to be more meaningful to you if you do it. Like, maybe, or maybe it's you'll hate it. I don't know. And like maybe you came to just experience being like really stressed out. Why would I say that that's better or worse? You know? Like when you get down to it, it's like it's really hard to find a place to like say anything with certainty. So, all of that to say, I think it's really an opportunity to consider that we do not know what's right or wrong. We do not know what's good or bad, that those things are ever changing and mean something really different to each human being. And there's no clear definition. And coming back to your own self and what feels most meaningful to you. I like a lot of what Bashar says, and Bashar's whole thing is like, do what's most exciting. And I feel like for me, a word that maybe resonates more at this time is more meaningful, right? Because there's excitement feels like really awesome, like hyped up, like woohoo, like riding a roller coaster, although I hate roller coasters. Um, like it's a really upbeat experience. But perhaps meaningful is a word that may resonate with more moments in the day if you're a person in perimenopause, especially like me, who's tired a lot. Um, so, yeah, just love exploring all these things. Thanks for exploring them with me. Thanks for not exploring them with me. Fascinating to be in whatever this is that we're doing. Love you.